Welcome back, everyone. Now, let's read a story together. This story has a lot of homophones in it, and sometimes the characters get confused because of these homophones. So let's get on with reading the story, and remember to watch out for the homophones. Birthday cookies. It was Mother's birthday. Susan, Tina, and Peter decided to bake her cookies while she and Father were at work. Susan, the eldest, was the only one who had seen their mother bake before. So she decided that she had to be the leader and get her pesky little siblings in line so that they could bake the cookies before their parents came home and give their mother a lovely surprise. Susan started to wash the utensil they were going to use and gathered ingredients, while Tina and Peter were hanging streamers in the living room.
Peter, where's the flour?
Susan asked.
Mom threw the flowers away because they wilted,
answered Peter.
Flour, Peter, flour. The white powder Mom uses to make cakes and cookies.
Susan chuckled.
Oh, okay.
And he disappeared into the pantry. Susan shook her head, smiling, and added,
Peter, get me the mixing bowl while you're in there.
Peter's reply was muffled because he was in the pantry.
What? I can't hear you,
Susan said.
Which?
Peter shouted from within the pantry. Susan narrowed her eyes.
What did you just call me? A witch?
Just then, Peter walked out, clumsily holding a bowl in each hand.
The red or the blue? Blue is bigger.
Okay, blue then,
Susan decided. Peter tried to put the bowls on the counter next to Susan. The counter was quite tall for him though, and he almost dropped both.
Careful, Peter, don't drop it on the floor, or even worse, on my feet,
Susan said, taking the blue mixing bowl from Peter's slippery hands.
Making the cake is going to be a mean feat with you jokers.
Well, you ruined the cake Mom was making last year,
Tina said cheekily.
Yeah, you isn't any good at this either,
Peter commented enthusiastically as he handed the flour to Susan.
Aunt,
Susan corrected him.
Aunt Mel?
Tina asked, confused.
Oh, never mind you two. Come help me pour the eggs I've beaten into the flour. Pour them in a little at a time,
said Susan. Tina started adding the eggs to the flour while Susan beat the mixture. While Tina was helping Susan pour the eggs into the mixture, Peter decided to open the kitchen door and let their dog, Buddy, in.
Peter, don't let Buddy in. He'll get his paw on everything,
Susan exclaimed.
But I'm bored. He'd be a good doggy,
Peter whined.
No, he won't. And if you are bored, then help me clear the eggshells and plastic wrappers I left on the chopping board,
Susan said firmly, putting down the mixing bowl and chasing Buddy out.
I'm going to take Buddy out to the garden for a while. In that time, Peter, clear the counter. And Tina, knead,
Susan said as she walked out.
Me?
Tina asked confusedly.
Yes, knead the dough,
Susan said as she walked out of the kitchen.
Well, why doesn't she take it with her if she needs it?
Peter mumbled to Tina mutinously. Tina laughed.
She means mix the dough, silly. Come, let's do it together.
And so they both kneaded the dough and started making cookies using cookie cutters while Susan was away. When Susan came back, they were almost done, and Susan helped them put the cookies into the preheated oven.
Ow!
Exclaimed Peter because he had accidentally touched the grill in the red-hot oven. He started crying aloud.
Peter, you know you're not allowed to come near the oven when it's open. Oh well, let's get you patched up. There's no need to bawl your eyes out. I'll play a ball game with you later, okay?
Susan cajoled Peter, trying to get him to stop crying. After they had gotten Peter all patched up, they heard the sound of keys and the door opening. They immediately rushed to the door and hugged their mother as she came through the door.
Happy birthday!
They cried in unison.
We need cookies!
Peter blurted out.
Peter, that was supposed to be a surprise!
Peanut exclaimed and shoved him playfully. Their mother just laughed merrily and gave them each a big hug and kiss.
The end. Did you like the story? I sure did. Now that we've enjoyed the story, let's look at the homophones in it. There were 8 pairs of homophones in the story. Can you remember what they were? Try writing them down or discussing with your partner.
You can do this at your own pace. If you need more time, remember to pause the video.
So, how many homophones have you noted? Well, don't worry if you can't remember. Let's revisit the story and look at just the homophones once more. Here we go. There are 2 homophones here. FLOUR is the powder that is used for baking, whereas FLOWER is the part of the plant that is sometimes colorful and beautiful and becomes a fruit. Peter, therefore, misunderstood Susan's question and thought that she was referring to the flowers their mother bought to decorate the house. The homophones here are both pronounced which. The word WHICH is a questioning word. For example, which one do you like? However, WITCH refers to a person who is wicked, and this term is often used in stories to refer to someone who can do magic. So when Peter said which, Susan thought that he was insulting her. Feet and feet have the same pronunciation, but FEET is part of the human body, and FEAT is an achievement. The words aunt and aunt are pronounced in the same way, but they have different meaning and spelling. AREN' means are not, and it is used when you are denying something. For example, Peter was trying to say, you aren't any good at this either. On the other hand, AUNT is a lady who is either your father's or mother's sister. The next homophone pair in the story is paw and paw. Here, you can clearly see that pouring the egg is totally different from the dog's paw. Remember to take note of the spelling, as you might get easily confused between these 2 homophones. This is an interesting example. Here, you can find 2 homophones in the same sentence. The first, bored, refers to a state of mind, while the second, spelled as BOARD, refers to a noun as illustrated in the picture. Here, you can see 2 words with the same pronunciation, need. The first need is spelled as NEED, referring to the necessity or requirement to do something or have something, while the other, spelled as KNEAD, refers to the action of pressing, folding, and stretching the dough to mix it evenly. The last homophone pair present in the story is ball and ball. Though the word ball, B-A-L-L, is a well-known and basic word, you might wonder what B-A-W-L means. It means to cry. Now that you have a better understanding of the interplay between 2 or more words that sound alike, let's move on to the next activity. For that, you need to now watch part 3 of this video.